Hey, Liam. It's so good to catch up with you today. I'm really excited about our conversation on networking skills.
Hey, Anna, same here. Networking is about creating valuable relationships. It's more than just exchanging business cards.
Exactly. It's about building trust and fostering relationships. Have you ever made a valuable connection through networking?
Yes, I once met a potential client at a conference. A simple chat led to a business collaboration.
That's a great example. Events like conferences or seminars create excellent networking opportunities. Do you prefer structured events or informal gatherings?
I prefer informal gatherings. They feel more natural and allow genuine conversations. What about you?
I think both have advantages. Structured events introduce you to the right people, but informal settings feel more relaxed.
That makes sense. Structured events provide targeted networking, while casual meetups let relationships develop organically.
Exactly. Speaking of networking, do you use LinkedIn actively?
Yes, I do. It's a great platform for staying connected, sharing insights, and discovering new opportunities. Do you use it regularly?
Absolutely. I post industry updates, comment on discussions, and reach out to professionals. Do you send connection requests often?
I do, but I always add a personalized message. It makes a big difference. Do you do the same?
Yes. A short, thoughtful note increases the chances of a response. Have you ever built a strong connection through LinkedIn?
Definitely. I once connected with someone who later became a mentor. A simple message turned into a long-term professional relationship.
That's inspiring. Engaging with posts and participating in discussions also helps build visibility. Do you engage with content regularly?
Yes, I comment on industry updates and share relevant articles. It helps establish credibility. What's your strategy?
I try to be consistent. Posting valuable content positions me as an industry expert. Have you tried writing articles on LinkedIn?
I have, but not regularly. Writing insightful articles boosts engagement. Have you seen good results from it?
Yes. Articles showcase expertise and attract like-minded professionals. Do you also network offline or do you focus mainly online?
I do both. Online networking is convenient, but face-to-face interactions are more personal. Do you prefer in-person meetings?
Yes. Body language and tone add depth to conversations. Virtual networking is great, but nothing beats a real handshake.
Agreed. Small talk also plays a role in networking. How do you start a conversation at an event?
I usually begin with a simple question or compliment. It breaks the ice and makes people feel comfortable. What about you?
I do the same. Asking about their work or the event itself helps create a natural flow.
Yes, finding common ground makes conversations smoother. Do you prepare talking points before networking events?
Sometimes. Having a few topics in mind helps avoid awkward silences. Do you plan ahead too?
Yes, I research attendees and industry trends. Preparation makes interactions more meaningful. Do you follow up after networking events?
Absolutely. A follow-up email or message keeps the connection alive. How soon do you usually follow up?
Within 24 hours. A quick message thanking them for the conversation strengthens the connection.
That's a great habit. A prompt follow-up shows professionalism and interest.
So following up is crucial. But what do you usually say in a follow-up message?
Well, I start by thanking them for their time. Then, I mention something specific from our conversation.
That's a good strategy. Personalizing the message makes it more meaningful. Do you always suggest a next step?
Yes, if it makes sense. I might propose a follow-up meeting or share a relevant resource. Do you do the same?
Yes. Keeping the conversation going is important. Do you connect on LinkedIn after meeting someone in person?
Definitely. I send a connection request with a short note. It helps keep the relationship alive.
That's smart. A brief message makes the request more personal. How do you maintain long-term connections?
I check in occasionally, share useful content, and engage with their posts. It keeps the relationship warm.
That's a great habit. Staying in touch regularly prevents connections from going cold.
Exactly. Have you ever reconnected with someone after a long time?
Yes. I once reached out to an old colleague and it led to a great business opportunity.
That's fantastic. Rekindling connections can open unexpected doors. Do you attend networking events often?
I try to. Attending regularly helps expand my professional circle. Do you prefer large events or smaller gatherings?
I like smaller gatherings. They allow deeper conversations. Large events can feel overwhelming. What about you?
I agree. Smaller events give more time to connect, but large ones offer diverse opportunities.
True, it's about balancing both. Have you ever approached a speaker after their presentation?
Yes. I once spoke to a keynote speaker and it led to an interesting collaboration. Have you done that?
Yes, I introduced myself to a speaker after a conference. We stayed in touch and it led to a partnership.
That's a great example of proactive networking. Do you find networking easier with experience?
Definitely. The more you do it, the more confident you become. It gets easier over time.
Absolutely. Confidence plays a big role in networking success. Any tips for overcoming networking anxiety?
Start with small conversations. Set realistic goals, like speaking to 3 people at an event. What do you suggest?
I recommend focusing on listening. Asking questions takes the pressure off and keeps the conversation flowing.
That's a great tip. People appreciate good listeners. It makes conversations more engaging.
Well, listening is key. When people feel heard, they're more likely to remember you. Do you practice active listening?
Yes, I nod, maintain eye contact, and ask follow-up questions. It makes conversations more natural. Do you do the same?
Absolutely. Paraphrasing what someone says also shows engagement. Have you ever had a networking conversation go wrong?
Yes, once I talked too much about myself. I realized later that I should have asked more questions.
That happens. Networking should be a two-way street. Have you ever met someone who dominated the conversation?
Yes. They kept talking without showing interest in me. It felt like a sales pitch. How did you handle similar situations?
I steer the conversation back by asking a question. If they continue, I politely exit. How do you exit gracefully?
I usually say, "It was great meeting you. I'll let you connect with others as well." What about you?
That's a great line. I also mention following up later. Have you ever faced rejection while networking?
Of course. Not everyone responds positively. But I remind myself that networking is about long-term connections.
That's the right mindset. Rejection isn't personal. How do you deal with people who don't respond to follow-ups?
I follow up once more after a week. If they still don't reply, I move on. What's your approach?
Same here. Persistence is good, but knowing when to stop is important. Have you ever been approached by someone you weren't interested in networking with?
Yes, but I try to stay polite. You never know when a connection might be useful later. Do you agree?
Definitely. Keeping an open mind is crucial. Do you believe in quality over quantity when it comes to networking?
Absolutely. A few strong connections are better than hundreds of weak ones. Do you prefer deep conversations or brief introductions?
Deep conversations for sure. Meaningful exchanges lead to lasting relationships. Do you follow up differently with close connections?
Yes, I check in more often and offer help when possible. It strengthens the bond.
That's a great approach. Offering value without expecting anything in return builds trust.
Exactly. Genuine networking is about helping others, not just personal gain.
So adding value is key. Have you ever helped someone without expecting anything in return?
Yes. I once introduced 2 professionals who later collaborated. It felt great to facilitate that connection.
That's amazing. Helping others strengthens your network naturally. Have you ever received unexpected help through networking?
Definitely. A former colleague recommended me for a job I hadn't even applied for. It was a pleasant surprise.
That's the power of a strong network. People remember those who support them. Do you believe in mentorship as part of networking?
Absolutely. Having a mentor provides guidance, and being a mentor is rewarding. Have you ever mentored someone?
Yes, I've guided a few junior colleagues. It's fulfilling to help someone grow. Have you had a mentor?
Yes, my first manager was a great mentor. He taught me the importance of relationship building.
That's valuable. Mentors offer insights you can't learn from books. Have you kept in touch with your mentor?
Yes. We still connect occasionally. His advice remains helpful. Do you keep in touch with past colleagues?
I do. Old colleagues can be great connections. Have you ever reconnected with someone after years?
Yes. A former coworker reached out, and we ended up working together again. It was unexpected.
That's a great example of long-term networking. Do you attend alumni events for networking?
Yes, university connections can be valuable. Have you ever gotten an opportunity through an alumni event?
Yes. I met a former classmate who later referred me to a project. It was a great experience.
That's why maintaining old connections matters. Do you think networking should feel strategic or natural?
A mix of both. Being strategic helps, but genuine relationships matter more. Do you agree?
Yes. Forced networking feels transactional, but organic connections last longer.
Exactly. The best opportunities come from authentic relationships.
And the best relationships come from meaningful conversations.
Well, meaningful conversations build trust. Have you ever had a networking conversation turn into a friendship?
Yes, I met someone at a conference, and we stayed in touch. Now we're good friends and work together.
That's the best outcome. Professional and personal connections can overlap. Do you think networking works differently in different industries?
Definitely. Some industries rely on formal networking, while others thrive on casual connections. What's your experience?
I agree. In creative fields, informal chats lead to opportunities. In corporate settings, structured networking is more common.
Right? Adaptability is key. Have you ever attended an industry-specific networking event?
Yes, it was insightful because everyone had shared interests. Have you found industry events more useful than general networking events?
Yes. Conversations flow more easily when people understand your field. Have you ever connected with someone outside your industry?
Yes. Sometimes outside perspectives bring fresh ideas. Have you ever made an unexpected but valuable connection?
Yes. I met someone in a completely different field who later helped me with an important project.
That's why keeping an open mind is important. Do you think social media has changed networking?
Absolutely. It's easier to stay in touch, but face-to-face connections still matter. Do you prefer online or offline networking?
A mix of both. Online networking builds connections, but in-person meetings strengthen them. Do you use social media strategically?
Yes. I engage with content, share insights, and interact with my network. What's your approach?
I focus on adding value, sharing useful articles, and supporting others. Have you ever received an opportunity through social media?
Yes. Someone noticed my posts and reached out with a job opportunity. Have you experienced something similar?
Yes. A recruiter found me on LinkedIn because of my content. Social media is powerful when used well.
Absolutely. Consistency and engagement make a big difference.
So, engagement is key. Have you ever reached out to someone on social media and got a great response?
Yes. I messaged a speaker after a webinar, and we ended up collaborating on a project. What about you?
That's great. I once commented on a post, and it led to a mentoring opportunity. Do you prefer cold messaging or engaging first?
Engaging first works better. It feels more natural. Have you ever received a cold message that stood out?
Yes. Someone referenced my work and asked a thoughtful question. It showed they did their research.
That's smart. Personalization makes a huge difference. Do you think networking should always have a clear goal?
Not necessarily. Some of the best connections happen organically. Have you ever built a strong connection unexpectedly?
Yes. I once helped someone at an event, and later, they introduced me to a key contact.
That's why generosity matters. Helping others without expecting anything creates goodwill. Do you agree?
Definitely. People remember those who support them. Have you ever followed up with someone after a long time?
Yes. I reconnected with an old contact, and we ended up working together. Have you had a similar experience?
Yes. It's a reminder that networking is about long-term relationships, not just immediate benefits.
Exactly. Keeping in touch matters. How often do you reach out to your network?
I check in every few months, even if just to say hello. What's your approach?
I do the same. A simple message keeps the connection alive. Do you believe in networking beyond professional benefits?
Yes. Strong relationships can lead to friendships, mentorships, and personal growth.
That's true. Networking isn't just about careers, it's about meaningful relationships.
And meaningful relationships open doors in unexpected ways.
Well, opportunities come from unexpected places. Have you ever helped someone and later benefited from that connection?
Yes. I once gave career advice to a junior professional, and years later, they introduced me to a great opportunity.
That's amazing. Giving first always comes back in some way. Do you think networking is a learned skill or a natural talent?
A bit of both. Some people are naturally social, but anyone can improve with practice. What do you think?
I agree. Confidence and communication improve over time. Have you ever struggled with networking early in your career?
Definitely. I used to feel awkward at events, but preparation and practice made a difference. How about you?
Same here. I used to overthink conversations. Now I focus on being present and listening. Do you prepare before networking events?
Yes. I research attendees and think of conversation starters. Do you have a go-to icebreaker?
I usually ask, what's the most interesting project you're working on? What about you?
I ask. How did you get into your industry? It gets people talking about their journey.
That's a good one. Stories create deeper connections. Have you ever used networking to navigate a career transition?
Yes. My network helped me when I switched industries. Have you ever found unexpected guidance through networking?
Yes. A casual chat once led to valuable career advice that changed my direction. Do you think networking should be intentional?
Yes, but it should also be natural. People can sense when it's forced. Do you agree?
Absolutely. Genuine curiosity makes a difference. What's the best networking advice you've ever received?
Focus on relationships, not transactions. The best connections aren't just about business.
That's great advice. Strong relationships last beyond one-time interactions.
And lasting relationships create long-term success.
So, long-term success comes from meaningful relationships. Have you ever seen networking impact someone else's career significantly?
Yes. A friend met a mentor at an event, and that connection led to a leadership role. What about you?
I once saw a junior employee land a big opportunity just by staying in touch with a former boss.
That's proof that small efforts matter. Do you think people underestimate the power of follow-ups?
Definitely. A simple thank you message or check-in can keep relationships strong. Do you have a follow-up strategy?
Yes. I send a quick message after meetings and follow up later with something relevant. What's your approach?
I do the same. I also make sure to offer help when possible. Have you ever followed up and gotten a great result?
Yes. I reached out after a conference and that conversation turned into a collaboration. Have you had similar experiences?
Yes. A follow-up email once led to a long-term business partnership. Relationships take time, but they're worth it.
Absolutely. Trust grows with consistency. What's one mistake people make in networking?
Only reaching out when they need something. Relationships should be built continuously, not just when necessary. Do you agree?
Completely. Networking is about giving, not just receiving. How do you stay authentic in professional relationships?
By being genuinely interested in people, not just opportunities. Have you ever walked away from a networking opportunity?
Yes, when it felt purely transactional. Relationships should be mutual, not one-sided. Have you ever done the same?
Yes. If a connection isn't built on trust, it won't last. Quality matters more than quantity.
Exactly. A small, strong network is more valuable than a large, weak one.
Well, this has been a great discussion. Thanks for sharing your insights.
Thank you, too. I really enjoyed this conversation. Let's stay in touch and keep building great connections.
Absolutely. Looking forward to future discussions. Take care.
You too. See you soon.
Thank you for watching our video.